Well, a few minutes ago, we learned that there will be more elders than children in less than 10 years. Bonnie Oda, Director of Client Care for Graham Builders, joins us again to share a few more tips on what homeowners can do now to make their homes elder safe. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Kelly.
Okay, so I see you have a little prop for us here. What are you going to show us? What would you say? I guess when it comes to aging at home, what would you say the most critical issues that families face in caring for our elders is?
Yes, thank you for asking this. You know, what I see as the most critical issue is that most of our homes in Hawaii are 50 years or older. And back then, the designers, the architects and the builders were not thinking that a wheelchair would be a commonplace appliance in the home. Because if grandma fell and broke her hip, say, she would end in the hospital, she would go to rehab, and if she did not regain her mobility, more than likely she went into a care facility. Thankfully, these days things are different, and people are encouraging the patient to go home. But if the wheelchair won't fit through doorways and hallways, it's not going to work.
Right, and can you share a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Now, homes that were built back then typically have doorways that were 24 to 26 inches. So can you see that on the screen?
Yeah, we can see that.
Yes. Great. Okay, great. And then the door has a protrusion, right? Because you have the door and then you have a hinge. So that usually accounts for 3 inches. So I take away 3 inches from the tape measure, and this is what we have. Now, what I have in front of me is a small transport wheelchair. Many times when people go home, they have a more comfortable, roomy one, but this is for a small patient. And you can see if I hold this tape measure from the edge of the widest part of the handlebar to the other side, oh, it almost makes it. But in this case, almost isn't good enough.
Right.
So that's why, you know, of course, if grandma can't get around the house, she can't do her toileting, her grooming. It's really sad because as a family bakes her recipe for their Christmas cookies, she won't be able to join them in the kitchen. That's why Graham Builders always, our standard doorways are 36 inches. Take away the 3 inches for the door and the hinges, you've got 33 inches. And you can see there's more than enough room for clearance and for a larger wheelchair. So, you know, there's a lot of other items that Graham Builders, because we have the CAPS designees on staff, the Certified Aging in Place specialists on staff, we know that it's really important to be able to toilet and bathe well. So we'll have comfort height toilets. We'll often encourage at least one 0-step or low threshold shower where a wheelchair can easily fit in. We even incorporate closets that have accessible rods so that when somebody's in a wheelchair, they can feel independent and select their own clothes and get dressed by themselves.
Right, and that's something that could potentially be, you know, such a small change or a small fix, but it's something that we don't really think about that could make such a big impact and make such a big difference, especially when elders are hoping to be aging in place at home.
Absolutely.
So again, make sure you contact Graham Builders. They have amazing ideas for you. And is there anything else that you'd like to share that you see that will prevent elders from staying at home for as long as possible? What are some changes that need to be made?
Yes, along with the wider hallways and the wider doorways, one of the things I see very often is that many families have 2-story houses, and that's great. And they have all of their bedrooms and their bathrooms upstairs and maybe a powder room downstairs. It's very, very important that as you're looking at your home, you have one full accessible bathroom so a person of any ability and age can shower and bathe themselves. Also, you'll want to have a room, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a master suite or anything like that, but you want to have a room that at some point in time is flexible enough to fit an electric hospital bed, and also hopefully close to the accessible bathroom, right? So that when the person is at home and they're not able to move around, the family can still care for them. You know, and finally, remember, hire a design build firm that has a certified aging in place specialist on staff, one that has a lot of experience, because that's your best assurance for comfort, safety, and increased value of your large asset.
And again, one of those is Graham Builders. So if folks are hoping to reach out to you, if they really want to make modifications to their home, make it easier for the kupuna in the family to age in place, how can we get a hold of you? Where can we find you guys?
Well, you can find us at grahambuilders.com. You can also give us a call at 593-2808. And, or you can also email me at bonnie@grahambuilders.com.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Kelly. It's been a delight, and thank you for allowing me to share these important tips with your viewers.
Of course, and they are important. Of course, we all want to see them, so thank you for sharing them with us. And by the way, we did talk to Bonnie earlier as well during Wake Up Today, so if you missed that segment or wanted to see this one again, we'll have both of those online at KHON2.com. But thanks again, Bonnie.